A bike in the 160cc segment that I really liked a lot was the X-Blade. And if you're a follower of the channel from the beginning, that shouldn't be a surprise for you. And now forward to mid-2020, Honda's new X-Blade is finally here, and this one is a true update that I wish for, but still, it's not like the totally perfect one. In fact, there isn't any bike like that. So let's not waste any time, and let's start our detailed review of the new 2020 Honda X-Blade BS-6. Well, in this update, one thing that should be easily guessable is that this new X-Blade should be having a BS-6 engine, and that's actually the main core change. The engine used here is a brand new 162.71cc 4-stroke single-cylinder programmed fuel injection BS-6 engine. And yet this engine does produce pretty good max power output and also impressive torque. And this is something you need to focus on. And that is, this new X-Blade is much more refined and smooth than the old version of the X-Blade. I'm going to stress it once more, which is, this engine is a true upgrade and I totally loved it. And this conclusion from my side is from the road test. And like the previous X-Blade, the gearbox used is a 5-speed gearbox with the first gear down and the rest up pattern. And on road what I felt is that the power is laid out pretty evenly with a slight punch in the first 2 gears. And yet this power generation is pretty fast for a bike in this segment, and then hitting the 0 to 60 km/h mark is quick. Now the previous X-Blade also had this trend, and to give a comparison idea, this new BS-6 X-Blade has a slightly more agile nature than the BS-4 X-Blade. So it's like everything is a tad bit faster, and I think that can be because of the improved torque, and also since there is good power generation capability, you can easily hit the 100 km/h mark. And even while riding in the 100 mark, the ride quality is top notch. The engine doesn't get stressed, and also there wasn't any sort of disturbance. The bike was willing to gain higher speed than that, but then after the 100 mark, it's not a very quick speed gain. And actually that kind of trend was noticeable in the 80 to 90 speed range too. Now here the best part in terms of ride quality is the smoothness and refinement for a speed range from 0 to 100 km/h. There was no vibration from any body parts of the bike, and hence the ride quality is excellent. Now with the last generation of the X-Blade, some riders did experience gear shift issues, which I didn't personally face, and here I feel that problem shouldn't be happening. Because this time, the gear system seems to be a bit more proper. Every shift was clean without any issues, and this all add up to give that excellent ride quality that I mentioned. So the core thing has been perfectly done by Honda with this new X-Blade, and therefore in the ride quality and performance side, I have zero complaints. Now if you take an overview of this new BS-6 X-Blade, you can see that the design is mostly untouched. And for me that's a good thing because I was a fan of the previous X-Blade's design, and hence I like this one too. So from the front, what you get is this robotic face headlight, which is a very unique one and also a standout thing for the X-Blade. This is like an identity for this bike, and since the headlight hasn't been touched, that identity is kept intact right from the front. The DRL used is sleek looking, and here this DRL and the headlight is LED. And this headlight is one of the strongest headlights in the bike in this segment. The range and coverage is long and wide, and hence night rides are easy. Even through pitch dark, you can easily get through, and that's one of the things to highlight about the headlight in the X-Blade. Then checking the handle, well it's the straight type one, and here from a rider's perspective, I feel this handle is positioned in a sweet spot. For me it's the right position, and therefore I don't have to lean much. It's not like an upright riding posture, but still it's a great posture which keeps the ride very comfortable. And that comfort thing is noticeable even with the seats used here. Now do keep in mind, this is not a new thing with the X-Blade, but instead it's same as what it was with the previous X-Blade. The seat is long and wide with adequate cushioning, and hence for the rider and the pillion, it's a comfortable seating experience. Now this is what I liked about the X-Blade, this proper seating posture and seating comfort. And that's even noticeable with the structure of the massive tank used here, which by the way is an aggressive looking tank with matching cowls, and now this graphics is tweaked a bit to give a better look. And as I was saying, this whole tank structure is designed well to give a proper hold, and that along with the gear lever position which is not aggressively set makes this posture perfect one for long rides as well as for short rides. And to be frank, that's not only because of these things alone, but it's also because of one of the best suspension combo. The front is a telescopic suspension and the rear is a monoshock hydraulic suspension, and here by default it was set soft, and therefore even while riding through rough patches or bad conditions, the ride was discomfort free. So all of this together does offer great ride comfort with the X-Blade, and actually for a comparison, if you have tested the previous X-Blade, the ride comfort is same and the ride control is also the same too. The bike weighs 143 or 144 kg based on the model, and for me the weight was perfectly manageable, and also for getting through traffic it was easy. While talking about easy stuff, the Speedo console is an easy and simple one to read, which again is untouched. It's a fully digital meter which displays enough data, and in that the most relevant stuff according to me is the gear position indicator and also the service due indicator. But again, this is not a newly designed panel, so everything in this Speedo console is what we are familiar with. And that's the same while taking a look at the rear design. It's the classic T-shaped taillight in the X-Blade which I really like, and I feel it's good that Honda has left it untouched. And also same is applicable with the split tire grab bar used here. It's blending well with the design, and actually this orange tone one in the black color variant is something I like. And in fact, this is my favorite color out of the 4 color options available in the X-Blade. And by the way, this is the matte access grey metallic color if you're interested in that. So this color change is something new, and actually there are some more stuff in the design side which is new, and that's first noticeable to the rider in the switch controls available. The left has the dim bright, fast light control, indicator toggle and horn, which is same as the one in the old X-Plate, but what's new is on the right side, and that's the engine kill switch. This is a very handy control, and finally Honda has given that, and then there is the hazard control and also the self start switch. Then the next new design thing is the undercowl. This does add style as well as protection, and this is a good add-on for rides through rough conditions even though the ground clearance is 160 mm. And actually I never experienced an issue with the underside of the X-Plate, and I did test it through really tough conditions. Now in the design side, even though there isn't much change, what Honda has changed or added is just the necessary stuff, and I'm happy with what they've done in the design side. But actually what has made me more happier is the updates that has happened to the brakes. Well, finally we have a dual disc variant with ABS. Now this new X-Plate comes in two variants, which are the single disc and the dual disc. The single disc variant has a 276 mm disc in the front and a 130 mm drum in the rear, and there is ABS in the front. And in the dual disc variant, the front is again 276 mm disc and the rear is 220 mm disc, and here also there is a single channel ABS which is equipped in the front. And here the variant I tested is the dual disc variant, and this brake combo is really good. I did try to do quick braking at pretty high speed, and even then the bike did stop without any issues like rear wheel lift-off or skids. And actually I did test in both dry and wet conditions, and without much surprise, the safer condition is the dry condition. Now here one thing that might be a disappointment for some riders is that Honda didn't touch the tires. The rear tire is a chunky one which is 130 mm thick, and it's a tubeless tire, but the front one, even though a tubeless one, its thickness is just 80 mm. Now for me, I don't have any complaints because I didn't face any issues, but still it would have been nice if the front was a bit more thicker tire. And also in the rear tire, there is a tire hugger and the rim is alloy which has this neat rim strip. Then one thing most of the riders will be curious about is the seat height, and it's 795 mm, which for me was spot on. I didn't face any troubles with the handlebar, nor did I have issues for reaching the ground, and for your reference, my height is 176 centimeters. Now one of the most impressive thing with the old X-Plate was its mileage, and here from our initial testing, this new X-Plate is also a mileage champ. Under mixed riding conditions, we got a mileage of approximately 58 km per liter, and I feel it's a great number considering the tank is a standard size one at 12 liters. So I guess that's everything about this new BS-6 X-Plate. I surely feel it's a great update, but a common thing happening with the BS-6 vehicles has happened here too, and that's the price hike. And here with this new X-Plate, there is a major hike with the top variant's ex-showroom pricing reaching 1,15,871 Indian rupees. Now this is the ex-showroom pricing in Kollam, Kerala, and if you want to know the on-road pricing in Kollam, Kerala, or maybe you want to do a test ride or even make a booking, you can contact Vahini Honda. This is their number, and I will leave it in the description section too. So this price hike thing, well, is it too much is a question that most of you will be having, and after testing, what I feel is that if you compare this price with the old X-Plate's pricing, it's surely high. But if you take the old X-Plate out of the equation and if you consider this new one as a standalone bike, then things will look a bit different. Now for sure, this is a premium pricing for a 160cc bike, but considering the overall package and other options in this segment, this new 2020 X-Plate BS-6 is a great bike, and if you're not concerned about the pricing, this is a bike that I'll surely recommend. Invest in a great one and it will be a best companion ride for you for a long time, and hence the top variant, which is the dual-disc variant, is a major go if you're planning to buy a new 160cc bike. Now this video was made possible by a test ride unit provided by Vahini Honda, but like all our other videos, this is not a paid or a sponsored video. The whole review is my feedback after properly testing the new X-Plate, and like always, no one was given a video preview of this review. Everyone is watching it for the first time after it has gone live in YouTube. So if you like such contents, a sub to the channel will help a lot, and also if you enjoyed this review, a like for the video is a great thing too. See you again in the next one. Till then, bye.